we could have been found at the ministerial car park, and we had some of our agents, our partner agents, stakeholders with us. We had VET, Plant Quarantine, we had the Bureau of Standards, we had Foreign Trade, and also the V-SWiFT project implementation team with us. And yesterday, we had something for our staff, which was our Health and Wellness Day. We had educational seminars on various topics, mental health in the workplace, healthy eating and nutrition. We had a walk as well, so you would have seen us on the road yesterday afternoon. And we also had the e-payment launch on Tuesday. I forgot that. We had the launch of the e-payment platform, right, which is very important. And we have ongoing sensitization of the e-payment platform for the broker and importer community. That is ongoing this week. Lorenzo will talk a bit more about that. Today, we're here with you and the general public to give you some information. And we also have a wreath laying ceremony going on today as well, where we just want to remember some of our officers who had passed on while they were working with us. Yes, and then we have some social activities for our staff. So those are the activities. Yeah.
All right, then. So, Lawrence, I think we're going to head straight over to you so you can give us some more information on the e-payment.
Okay, the e-payment is part or a component of the V-SWiFT project that's been implemented in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. V-SWiFT is the single window for trade facilitation, and it's part of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, right? So all the projects are linked. Now, the e-payment is another payment method that Customs has introduced to allow convenience for our customers and stakeholders. It allows persons who are Asecuda users to log in and make payments for declaration and other customs fees online using their debit and their credit card. This can be done at any time and anywhere, as long as you're an Asecuda user. And it's very, very simple to become an Asecuda user. There are forms online at the Customs website. You fill out the Asecuda user registration form, submit it, and within 24 hours, you will get a response regarding your user name and password.
All right, so break that down for us, please. What's Asecuda?
Asecuda is the automated system for customs data. We use the Asecuda World 4.2.2 system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it basically automates the collection of data for trade and transactions. It allows users, such as brokers and importers, to enter the information into a system so that we can automate the collection of duties, as well as to facilitate agency duties that we are charged with doing. For example, we are charged with ensuring items that come into St. Vincent and the Grenadines are safe for human consumption. We do that by ensuring that the necessary authorities do their relevant inspections, such as health, vet, phytosanitary department as part of the Ministry of Agriculture. We also protect local industries through the policing of trade, and we protect and collect revenue through the policing of concessions as well. Okay. All of that is automated through the Asecuda system.
Okay, so this is really for persons who bring in items that's in large quantities and frequently, not me with my little something that I need to clear.
The e-payment system is targeted towards commercial transactions.
Okay.
So the little items that you might have to clear through courier or your barrel that you would get from family members overseas wouldn't fall under that bracket because it's a slightly different process. However, large companies or even small companies, small businesses that do regular transactions can benefit from the e-payment system.
Okay.
Yeah. All right then. So that all of that is included in the V-SWiFT program that you recently launched, what you just explained, or is these V-SWiFT separate from the e-payment?
The e-payment is a component of the V-SWiFT project, but the V-SWiFT is much larger than that.
Right.
It is meant to incorporate different agencies. So for example, currently you will have to go to Ministry of Health, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade when you need to apply for licenses and permits for whatever reason. So for example, you want to bring in a drone with certain radio frequencies, you have to go to NTRC to get a permit for that. The V-SWiFT project is meant to integrate all of that into one platform. So you can make all of your applications online, get approval online, and that information is sent seamlessly back to the Customs and Excise Department so that you don't have to do the run up and down of going to different departments.
Okay. So no more going to somewhere separate to get the license for the TV. You still have to do that, right? No?
The license for the TV, the license for the TV is actually handled by customs, but let's say I'm licensed for wooden furniture.
Oh, you have. Oh, these are things I don't know. Okay, all right. So this does sound like something that is going to save persons a lot of time, the convenience as well as just being able to do transactions wherever you are. But how is this information going to get to persons who need to hear this information? What are your sensitization efforts? Apart from being here on WEFM and having things mentioned in the news, how are you getting that message directly to persons who it would benefit the most?
After the launch on Tuesday, we are currently doing a sensitization of brokers and major importers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have 4 sessions today, starting from 9:30. So brokers and importers who are interested in learning more about the V-SWiFT program in detail can come in. These sessions are 1-hour sessions, 9:30, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 2:30 today.
Okay. And if I type in something on Google, right, and about the V-SWiFT payment program, is there something on the customs website already that could guide persons?
There is information on the customs website, but we are waiting until after the current sensitization to upload a video and a manual for the process.
Okay, lovely.
All right then. Now we're gonna move away from the V-SWiFT a little bit because the gentleman here said we're talking all things customs today, right? And I like that.
All right, and just a note, if you wish to pose a question, the number to call is 457-9997. All right, so
Yeah.
we are ready to take questions from listeners if you have any questions with regards to customs here in SVG.
Yeah. So how does it work when persons order things? Right, because I came across an incident the other day, and then I spoke about it, and several persons were messaging me about their experiences. So, could you give us the process of, let's say, I order something online from some online company, and I ordered through a courier company, but obviously everything has to go through customs. So, could you walk me through the steps from there? I order my package through my company, and then it arrives at the customs. Does the company pays the customs for the let me leave it to you. So do you understand the question I'm asking?
I understand.
Okay, good.
Clearly what you meant, and I am happy that you actually asking that question, because over the past 2 weeks or so, I would have seen on social media people venting. Hence the reason, like I said, I decided to embark on some public education. So I would mention 2 incidents, and then I would get to you. So
no
over
problem.
the past 2 weeks or so, I would have seen somebody venting on Facebook, somebody from Union actually, about goods coming in to the country. And the goods were at customs. Actually, they were trying to get some concession or something, which is given by cabinet, and they keep on saying the goods are in customs. Now, customs is not the custodian of cargo, right? So we need to understand that at the port, there's port authority, who is the custodian, and there's customs. So you're getting a barrel. You go to the agent will give you the documentation pertaining to the barrel. You come to port authority, you get a pass and everything, you get the location, and the port clerk will locate the barrel. Customs only comes in after the barrel is located, and we do the examination. You pay us the duty, right? So that's the first thing you need to know, that port authority is the custodian of the cargo, not customs. We only become the custodian after 14 days, and you refuse to clear it, and it is transferred to customs. Now, to the courier, when you order something online, Okay, obviously you have a courier, be it SWIFT, whoever, right? There are two processes actually. You could either self-clear or the courier could clear it for you. Okay? If you're self-clearing, the courier would give you the documentation. You go to customs at the air cargo. Now, air cargo is the custodian of the cargo. Again, similar, they play a similar role as port authority. So a lot of people go to air cargo and they say, oh, I stayed 2 hours out here, and they're blaming customs. Air cargo, somebody from air cargo will locate the cargo. If the person from air cargo stayed 2 hours to locate the cargo, that has nothing to do with customs. Absolutely nothing. But a lot of the public don't understand that. So they cuss and carry on and say, oh, it's a 5 hours process. When actually it takes 3 hours to locate the cargo and maybe 15 minutes for customs to value and pay. Okay, so again, you need to know that if your cargo is lost or something, air cargo, somebody at the air cargo people can locate it, they are responsible. They are accountable for the cargo, not customs. I would have seen an article also, I think it was on One News, where they talk about the length of time it takes to clear a consignment in customs. And again, the length of time it takes is it is determined by a number of variables. The number of persons at the shed, the quickness in which transit shed is able to locate the cargo. So it's all of that you have to take into consideration. Don't know if I address your concern.
The other thing we had to do with something with pricing.
Yeah.
Costing,
So the other thing is the pricing. So how the courier company pays? Well, I know it makes a port and customs.
If the courier is doing the clearance process for you, obviously they have the invoice containing all the details concerning the goods. The officer will now use that invoice to determine the duty.
Okay.
Because the duty is always determined on the value.
All right. So the question to clear up the confusion is it that persons the courier company is paying customs to bring in their container and persons are still paying customs for the things in the container? Is it that or is it something else?
So the courier is clearing your consignment, right? So like was mentioned, we would use the invoice to compute the duty. You will now pay the courier whatever duty was paid and a fee for their service, because that's how it works. So you're basically reimbursing the courier, because if it was self-clear and you go and do it your own self, rather than the courier paying the duty, you would pay the duty. Understand?
Okay.
No.
I think go ahead. Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me give you a practical example of this, right? Let's say, for example, you were to purchase a shoes from Amazon for 80 US. We in customs use the rate of exchange for the US dollar at 2.717. Now, that would mean that the shoe cost you $217.36. You ship it to the courier, and the courier charged you 20 US for shipping. Okay, that is $54.34. Now, Simmons and Grenadines uses a GAT valuation process, right? We use CIF, which means cost, insurance, and freight for anything that comes to Simmons. And so it's a total cost, including the cost of the goods and any other costs, right? Such as documentation and any fees that might be charged to get the goods to Simmons and Grenadines. It includes freight, right? The cost to ship the goods to Simmons and insurance. If no insurance is actually applicable, or if your courier didn't charge you an insurance, then 1% insurance is applied to the consignment. Okay? So the shoe costs $80 US, $20 in freight, 1% insurance. So that's $101 $101 US, a total of $274.42. The import duty on shoes is 20%. We have a 6% custom service charge and 16% VAT. VAT is compounded, so the rate is actually 46.16% against the value of that goods. The total duty liability is $126.67 for that consignment.
I'm happy that you broke it down, because one of the things that people always say when you hear the quarrels, how is it I paying more to customs than the value of what it is I purchased it for, right? So you tend to hear that sentiment expressed a lot. So I suppose breaking it down in this way should help.
And if I may add, that valuation system that we use, the tariff that we use, it's international. It's not just a St. Vincent thing. It's applied across the board to customs administrations via the World Customs Organizations. It's standardized.
Okay. Right then.
All right. So what we could do, we can take a break at this time because somebody was calling, so we would entertain that call upon return. So yeah, if you have your questions, remember the number to call is 457-9997. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So you can also send your message there, and you can also send your message or your question via WhatsApp. So we'll be right back.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom, whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seats. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Falls Avenue and in Arnisvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain; Cooper Tires, king of the road and track; Osto, the king of the outback; and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnisvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
St. Vincent, it's time to celebrate 30 years of blues. Join us for the Basilat Villa Blues Festival, one unforgettable night of world-class music for a cause that matters. January 31st at 8 p.m. at Basilat Villa, featuring an incredible lineup: Joe Louis Walker, Ian Seagal, Morali Coryell, Matt Jest, Peter O'Brien, and Dan Rabinovitz, Giles Robson, Robin Capsulis, Scott Malici, Chuck Langford, Jenny Shallow, and Joshua Lewis. Tickets are $75 available at Baselat Villa, Basil's Bar Kingstown, and Pinch's Hardware Pembroke. All proceeds benefit the Basil Charles Educational Foundation. We are currently supporting 85 students in St. Vincent with full-time and bursary scholarships, feeding programs, transportation allowances, and emergency relief during natural disasters. Join us for a night of great music and an even greater impact. This ad brought to you compliments of WEFM and Williams Electronic Services.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound. Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
And signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
All right, we are back with our interview here with members of the Customs and Excise Department, and already we have a call. Good morning to you, caller.
Yes, good morning. My name is Dave Roberts. I say that without any apology to anybody. There's so much, thank God I've lived long enough to experience so many things about customs and excise, and all these fancy names and so on. What I would like to know, I am not among the current crop of those who are doing the work for government and so on. I'm from the old school. I have had my experiences where the customs is concerned in the past. And let me say this without any hesitation, that particular department is a very cumbersome one. I know that in the past, you had to be running around here, running around there, and that kind of thing. And still, all because of security, they would tell you, but still security is broken, right? Or, never mind all the warnings and so on you'll get and so on. But now we are living in a computer age, and any sort of program that is installed in the system, I am still questioning with the changes. You hear about Caribbean digitalization, all these fancy words and so on, which could be broken down simple, some of them I think. But be that as it may, we still have to follow those people who come up with all these brilliant ideas because of the world we're living in. What I'm saying, we are not masters of our own destiny, so to speak. Because when I hear these things, all my concern is though, is it making things better for us? Yes, it might be making things better for us in the scheme of things to understand processes and all of that and so on. But take an old person like me. How could it be made easier for somebody like me at home now if I have to clear something from the customs? And I heard mention was made, and I have to pay X amount of dollars, even costing more than the value of what I got or what I'm receiving. How do you explain that?
Okay.
Especially for senior citizens, right? Thank you.
All right.
Let me
Thanks.
stay there because there's a lot to say.
All right. So yes, you could probably tackle the last part first. With regards to senior citizens, is there something in place to make that process a bit easier for persons when they're clearing items?
The thing is, right, customs is not like the bank. Customs or port is not like the bank that has a line for senior citizens, because we are never sure who is coming on any set day to clear packages. But of course, the humanity in us, and I've done it. I've done it when I was at the level of examining barrels and so on. You see an elderly person, you walk them through the process. And Dave, I mean, Dave is a national figure. I am sure if he come to customs to play anything, of course, the humanity in us will reach out to him.
But would you advise persons to maybe get the services of use the service of a broker instead?
That too. I have done it. Also, sometime I will see a granny and I will say, Granny, why you here? You don't have anybody who you could send? Use a broker, somebody. But some people are so stuck in the ways that if they want to come and do it on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I say, we don't have a senior citizen line.
Okay. All right. Question. Does customs grant concessions?
And good question, because that is something, again, people are always calling to say, oh, I have something coming in. Can you grant the concession or something? And we always advise people that cabinet is to grant concession. The only concession customs is responsible for, the control of customs, is returning national. If you're living abroad for 10 years or over and you're coming back home permanently to live, you would have to, the control of customs grant that concession. But of course, there's a process. We have to do an interview and everything. So any other concession, you go to cabinet for the farmers' incentive concession. Ministry of Agriculture is responsible for that. And again, you have to be a registered farmer and go to Ministry of Agriculture, and they have all their criteria. But customs generally, like I say, only return national concession we are responsible for.
Okay, and so when you write granting concession, is budget director you write to? Who do you write to?
The director of finance.
Okay.
The DG.
Okay.
And of course, he would take everything to cabinet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're gonna.
Right. So to add to that, right, Customs is a law enforcement organization, right? We have our Customs Control and Management Act. We have customs procedures. We have the tariff, which is a act of Parliament as well, right? All of these acts have certain level of information available for persons if they're willing to read, because sometimes laws are a bit difficult to go through and read. But in the tariff itself, right, the second schedule, there are a list of items that CARICOM has allowed countries to apply concessions on. They also specify where you can apply for those concessions. So for example, just as Mr. James said, the returning national is a concession for persons who would have spent more than 10 years overseas and are looking to take up permanent residence back in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But for example, students who have been studying for 3 and 4 years overseas can also benefit from a form of concession called removal goods, where items that were in their possession during the time they were studying, they're able to bring back at a reduced rate, right? That is also applied by the Customs and Excise Department, but it's a lot enshrined within the tariff that we are enforcing. Okay. Regarding the cabinet concessions, those are made through application to cabinet, but there are also fiscal incentives that are afforded to companies, large and small, right? Those will also be written to finance, and they would apply whether they want give them a 15-year fiscal incentive, 25-year fiscal incentive. Now, all of this information is available on the Customs website under the Customs legislation link, but you can also go to a broker and they would have that information as well, because it is their job to know Customs legislation and to inform their clients about them.
Okay, all right, so we have someone.
Just in addition to what Mr. Barber just mentioned, the concern in the student who live abroad or whatever, it doesn't just apply to students. Remember, we said that to qualify for the return national, you have to be living abroad for 10 years or over. So what if you didn't meet that 10-year threshold? It doesn't say that you can get goods that were in your possession. However, that those goods must be used. So you can come to customs and say, okay, I was living in Canada for 8 years. I want concession. What we would do, we'd give you a return removal goods, but those goods are just for things that were used. You can't buy a new fridge.
Yes, that's just crossed my mind.
And get it. They have to be used, okay? So I think it is important to mention that.
Okay, it's interesting. I wonder how many persons, I know of the returning nationals one, but I don't know how many persons know of the students one, because many times, especially when you live off campus, you accumulate things, you accumulate stuff. And, you know, like in my case, I just sent stuff back home. I did not know that I could have applied for a concession.
Yeah, you
so,
could.
Okay. And what is the process like? You say you applied to...
Well, with the return, with that type of concession, you come to customs, you explain to us that you were living, you were studying in wherever, okay? We would examine your goods, right? And once they are used, all we need to do is just write down the item, the value. You go to, we have somebody you would go to and they would have to accept those goods as the examining officer will accept those goods as used. It's not a difficult process. So you don't have to say apply to whoever. Customs themselves verify that those goods are indeed used.
Okay. All right. So I know that we have somebody calling. So caller, you can try calling back at this. Sorry, the person's calling back now. All right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Roleza, and to your guests. Gentlemen, I have some concern with customs is concerned in St. Vincent. You said something to Dave you said something in relation to Dave that made me smile. You say he's a national person and you give him a special attention. I'll just share two occurrences I had in St. Vincent. Once I purchased something in Barbados, which I couldn't get in Bermuda. And the officer said to me, well, you'd have to pay duty on this. I said, sir, I'm not leaving this in St. Vincent. I'm taking it back with me. He said, well, how do I know that? So I asked him if I could leave some money. I had a US $100 bill with me. I said I would leave this as security guarantee that I would be taking this back with me. Sorry, so he gave me a receipt and he said on your way out, you know, you could get your money back. You know, when I got to the airport, I showed the receipt. The officer said to me, oh, he gone on vacation and we don't know where the money is. So my $100 was out. I lost that. Another visit, the officer went through my baggage. I had my wife and my our young baby. He said, give me one of this, give me one of this, give me one of this, and you could go. I looked at him, I said, I ain't gonna give you nothing. He said, well, you have to pay duty. I asked if I could make a phone call. I did, and when I mentioned who I wanted to call, he said, what make you not tell me you know he? Go on, that's all right, go ahead. I just wanted to share those two. I hope these things no longer happen because it's really distressing for Vincentians coming home and have to be. Yeah.
You go ahead.
Just thought I'll share this.
Okay. All right. Thanks, caller.
I call it. Thanks for your call, and I listened to you, and I know, and it struck me that you are an individual who is well familiar with the procedure concerning the item you brought in and deposited the 100 US. It is unfortunate that you lost that money, because really and truly, for temporary importation, there is a process where you could deposit pending re-exportation. And at the airport, there is supposed to be a register where whoever officer dealt with you will enter those information into the register. So when you go back, all you needed to do, well, all the officer on duty needed to do was go back into that register and basically look at the info. There's a receipt book where the deposit will be, and the officer verify that it is the right item going back out. We verify it go, and you get and give you back your money. So that is an unfortunate incident, and I want to apologize for that. But it don't always happen. Concerning the other incident you brought up with the officer, say gear this, gear that, and go. Again, that's unfortunate. And it always grieves my heart to hear about experiences like those that members of the public will talk about when they meet officers, and there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that whatsoever.
I would just like to say that if something like that ever happens to you, right, while it's good that you were able to call in and you were able to get it off your chest and make your point known, but you should also make a report to the Comptroller of Customs.
Correct.
Every single custom officer is charged by the Comptroller to perform various duties. So we are stationed at different ports, different airports, different seaports, right? And we perform our functions. As I said, we're a law enforcement organization. Now, in every organization, there will be persons that, these things happen to, right? And the best thing is to make reports so that the Customs and Excise Department can deal with them so that it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Correct.
And what about issues when persons say that there are things missing? Let's say from their suitcase or whatever it is. What should persons do? Because we've heard of these situations where people say that they know that they pack certain things into, let's say, the luggage or wherever, and things turn up missing, or they brought in certain things and they go missing. What, for persons who may be saying these things, what should they do?
So let me just see if I know clearly what you mean, because during traveling, your luggage is boarded at your port of embarkment. When you arrive here, it is your luggage is disembarked here, right? Now, your luggage, you collect your luggage and you come to customs. During the examination, you say something is missing. That can't be in St. Vincent. But so that I am seeking clarity.
Let me tell you why I say because customs gets the blame for everything.
Correct.
Right?
But if you examine your luggage and you have to pay duty, and you didn't have the money to pay the duty per se, and we detain the luggage, and you come back and something is missing, clearly it is us. So.
All right, as Mr. James spoke before, right, and said that we are not the custodian of cargo in any way, shape, or form, right?
Okay.
So when you get your barrel and your boxes and any consignment from overseas, it is the shipper, right, to put it in a container. The container comes to St. Vincent. The agent is responsible for making arrangements with the Port Authority to unstuff the container. Port Authority stores those items. That's why when you go to the Port Authority, they charge you tailgate. Okay? So there are relevant fees for that process. Now, customs doesn't get involved until we do examination. At that point, the examination is done with the importer or the agent. So there must be somebody there to witness us do the examination. If at that time, right, you have any items missing, so for example, you imported 10 boxes and you only get 9, it's not customs responsibility. It's either the shipper, the agent, or the custodian of the cargo, the Port Authority, or AIA, airport, right, would have to take responsibility for that. So you'd make your complaints to them. Regarding the suitcase and the luggage, as Mr. James said, again, we don't physically go to your luggage unless you are present. You need to be there, right, for us to examine your goods. So if you are traveling and you say you pack something in your suitcase and when you arrive and we do the examination it's missing, you'll make your complaints to the airport, right, and they will try to do the necessary investigations to find your item.
Right.
All right. Any other misconceptions about customs that you would like to take this opportunity to clear up?
Let me just do one. Concerning courier, when people order something online and the goods arrive and the courier call you to say, listen, your package is here, and you go to them, they will charge you a freight to bring the cargo. However, some people think that freight they're giving to the courier, that give them the right to just receive the goods and go. That is a misconception. After you would have paid the courier, the custom process comes in where the goods will have to be examined and duty should be paid.
All right then, and that's it. That's the final one. Anybody else? No? Lady in the middle,
Any
nothing.
serious things that y'all always getting blamed for that you want to clarify right now?
And it's today. All right. Well, we basically have come to the end of the.
All right, so let me just read something here. So
Yeah.
from my experience, my congratulations to the Customs Department operations, especially helping on the phone. I was amazed how your employees go the extra mile getting the information required. This person is saying thank you. And this person actually lives overseas. So, all right, so somebody else is saying, good morning to everyone. Concerning the receipt issued to the gentleman, is that receipt a customs and excise receipt or government general receipt, or is it an ordinary receipt which could not enter in the register, hence no evidence that the gentleman paid the US $100? There are a lot of shortcomings at the customs presently, but do hope that the controller is listening and seeks to have meetings with his staff regularly. So that's just something else somebody mentioned there. Okay.
Okay, then. So we have basically come to the end of our interview here with members of the Customs and Excise Department. In studio with us this morning, we had Mr. Leroy James, Miss Monifa Allen, and Mr. Lorenzo Baba, all working with the SVG Customs and Excise Department. I definitely have to say you answered your questions very beautifully this morning. You presented your information well. I hope Customs is very proud of you. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope that all misconceptions were cleared up. And Customs.
I think Mr. Baba wanted to just reinforce how to sign up for the e-payment.
Oh, yes. And one other thing, for repeat the difference between Customs and Port Authority before you leave again.
All right, so with regards to the e-payment, persons who wishing to take advantage of the process, right, need to make an application to Customs to be an Asecura user. The form for that is at the Customs website, and that's customs.gov.bc. At the top, there will be tabs for Customs documentation. You go to Customs forms, and the form that you're looking for is the Asecura user registration form. You fill out the information regarding your company, if it's a company that you sign up with, or an individual that does a lot of importation, and these are commercial transactions that we're geared towards. So as I said, if you ship items with courier or you get boxes and barrels from family overseas, this is not targeted towards you, but rather commercial consignments, whether it be large or small businesses. Once you fill out a form, you email the form to asecura@customs.gov.bc. We will process it. If we need additional information, we will reply and tell you that, but you will get a response within 24 hours.
Okay, then. And the difference between Customs and Port Authority?
Okay, like was mentioned over and over again, Port, even though we share the same compound, and during the December, I remember Mr. Nichols from the Port Authority mentioned that Customs and Port were in a marriage for life. So we share the same compound, but Port Authority is the custodian of the goods, while Customs do the examination and you pay the duty. I would like to mention one more thing. When somebody is getting a barrel, rather than calling to the Customs and saying, hey, my barrel reach, I expecting a barrel from me auntie. She sent it. You don't call customs. You don't even call Port Authority. You call the agent, because that person who is sending the barrel from overseas, there's an agent here. So the agent will inform you when the barrel arrives.
All right, then. And with that, we have finished our discussion here. We were speaking on the topic International Customs Day, V-SWiFT, and customs e-payment, and all things related to customs as well. And with that, we are going to head straight into our ECCB currency exchange rates at this time. Lady and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nothing else